No,
but
it's a terrible comparison.
Why? Do you think you're better than Troy Stetcher? Is that what you're indicating?
I just be careful, because if Stetcher flames out, then you're going to go, hey, this guy is I think there's a waiver wire, I don't know, comparable. Stetcher's been good, but I mean, this guy, has he been that great?
Isn't there like kind of a better deadline deal that you could have come up with?
Who else has been claimed off waivers? Like there have been big waiver wire. I guess
I got one for you. The D in Florida. The D
Gustav
in Florida.
Forsling.
Forsling was Brett Hull on waivers, or did he just get like cut in Calgary? What happened there? I don't remember.
Oh, I can't remember that.
That might have been a waiver pickup. Marty St. Louis was the same thing. I don't know if it was waivers. It might have been. But you're not Marty St. Louis. I mean, let's get serious. Troy Stetcher, I think, is appropriate. It's been a very good start. A lot of energy. A lot of positivity, but I need you hungry still. Well, I can't start pumping your tires to the extent that it gets carried away, but great pick. You pushed it over the line with the Packers, and that's why we're a three-man, package here that just can't be stopped, and we're on the board with the game tonight.
Yeah, you know what, though? Watching that football game, is it just one of those years? Travis Kelce looks like he's done. I don't know if he's but the rest of them, I felt bad for that Mahomes, and they got dummied.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't feel bad for them. They've won multiple Super Bowls. I know, but I think a lot of people, every once in a while, you need them to come back down to earth, and that's what's happened. Last year they won every one-score game. Every single one broke their way. And it just wasn't realistic to expect that to continue. And now it's gone the complete opposite way, where they never seem to win close games. Yeah. But it is going to be an adjustment period, because you're right, Kelce, a lot of drops last night, a lot of complaints. Just he can't do it anymore. He's not the playmaker he once was. I don't know if he's going to retire or not. Obviously, that's his call. He's got big plans this summer. I'm sure you guys have heard of it. But I think Andy Reid is also a legitimate question mark. Not a young guy. Not a young coach, been around a long time. Does he stick it out?
He's been around forever.
Yeah,
man.
Does he stay? Is he the coach for the next 10 years? Does he stay all through Mahomes' career? I don't know, but I'm not going to bet against Mahomes and the Chiefs at some point over the next couple of years cycling back. Maybe it's next year. Maybe they needed a year off, a long off season. Everyone gets healthy. They make a couple of moves, and they're right back in the dance. I wouldn't put that past them, but yeah, it's weird when you see a giant fall like that. Yeah. It's a strange look.
It is.
You just said it.
It's a weird look.
The magic's gone. The play to extend, drives and everything, the catch. The magic's gone. That's the only way to describe it.
You've grown so used to it. It's like, it's 4th and 1, 4th and 2. He's going to, no problem. He's just going to pull this off. And it's like throw a muffin through the middle and it picked off or dropped or hit a guy in the head. The one his receiver turned around and Mahomes hit him between the eyes.
Yeah.
It was just.
Yeah.
It's tough to watch, like you say, because you have this expectation, and they've earned it. Because every big play, they delivered on.
Tell you, watching it gives me more an appreciation all the time for Brady. Because that guy, he always, 4th and 7, needed it. He got it every time. Didn't matter if he was 37, 27, 40. He was getting the first down. It just makes you appreciate him even much more.
Well, and they went to the playoffs every year, and they won the division basically every year. And the Chiefs have as well. Since Mahomes has been their starter, they've won the AFC West every single year. And that's not going to happen anymore. They can't. Yeah. Statistically, they can't catch up to Denver. It's over. So can they win out, maybe backdoor into a wild card? I guess it's possible. The AFC is really watered down. And, I picked the Bills to win the Super Bowl before the year. I feel better about that today than I did back in September.
You should.
Yeah, if I'm the Bills, I'm not scared of anybody. And that doesn't mean they don't have to clean stuff up. They do. It doesn't mean their defense doesn't concern me a little bit. It does. Right. But as of now, let's say they don't catch New England, which I'm not sure they can or will. They're going to go into Pittsburgh. I think they win that game. And then to Denver? I think they win that game. And then come home and play Jacksonville or something in the championship game? I love their avenue all the way to a Super Bowl. If you can't win it this year or you're not going to win it this year, if you're Allen, McDermott, and company, I don't know when you're going to win because Mahomes is out of the way. The boogeyman's gone. That team's not even going to be in the dance. Baltimore's a mess. They're not going to get off the mat. They stink. Like, Lamar can't do it this year either. He's done. It's over. Burrow lost. You beat them, so they're gone. Who scares you in the AFC if you're the Bills? Outside of yourself. Outside of maybe looking in the mirror and saying, how are we going to possibly screw this up?
How are we going to screw it up?
I think I love where the Bills are at right now.
Yeah, it's hard to argue that, Brian. And we started the season saying, like, I was hoping for it. You know, I like Allen. I just think he's a humble, great quarterback, rock star. And there is a pathway for the Bills, but are they a team that beats themselves? Are they a team that, you know, will read their clippings and go, hey, there's a pathway here, and then find a way to drive it in the ditch? I don't think they're like that.
As soon as you always say there's a pathway here, you get punted in the first.
I know, it's scary. Like, it's easy for me to say it and us to think it. You're right. You're driving at their own psychology. They can't be thinking that way, which they might. Because, again, I think every year they show up to camp for the last 6-7 years and say, how are we going to beat Kansas City? And now all of a sudden that's not even a reality. It's not even something that they are going to have to deal with. They don't have to play Kansas City. That's gone. It's over. Who knows when they return, but as of right now, that's out of your way. They've beaten Baltimore. They've beaten everyone else they played for the most part in the playoffs. It's always Kansas City that comes back and gets them. So I think if you're in Buffalo, the fact that you stormed back and won the way you did yesterday, Josh Allen is playing as well as anyone can play the sport, and Mahomes and the Chiefs are out. Like, what a day in Western New York. I think if you're in Buffalo, you're loving life. And you still get a game against New England, in New England, a chance to catch them. Again, I doubt they will, but still it's a possibility. A lot to play for the rest of the way. Luke coming up in about an hour. We've got a big Monday nighter tonight. Chargers and the Eagles, and a lot of crazy games. Again, the Packers beating the Bears. It was a great game. And we got a hockey game tonight with Tampa in town.
Yeah.
And this is a big one for the Leafs because they're coming off a game where they did what they had to on Saturday. They didn't have their A stuff. You got to get a point. Like, you got to get that game to overtime. That's what they should have done and had to do against Washington a week before. They couldn't do that. But they found a way to get a point. Montreal deserved to win that game. But Dennis Hildeby was outstanding again.
I thought he was great.
Dude.
Man, is he playing well, Dennis Hildeby.
Dennis Hildeby, you're the number one until you prove otherwise would be my mandate. You go in the net. Why not?
So you're telling me 100% healthy Joseph Woll, 100% healthy Tony Stolars. Sorry, step aside. Dennis Hildeby is playing tonight. Is that what you're telling me?
All I'm saying is if Hildeby backs it up with another game, another couple, let's say, you just say, you know what, we're going to give you some runway. You keep doing it, maybe we'll give you a couple more starts. And people that come back are going to have to just sit and wait a little bit. We're not going to rush to yank you out of the net. Just a little reward for the beast.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not going to say
he's
if
playing
everybody...
great. He's playing outstanding. He's played so well.
Though. Like it's a
I get it.
A week,
I get
a
it.
week
But
ago,
if he
if
has
I
a
said to you, hey, Hildeby, you got the
No
net,
way.
you would charge the mound on me if I said to you 10 days ago, Dennis Hildeby is going to be the guy.
All right, who's more likely?
I'm not anointing him the starter. I'm saying if he has a couple more good games, I'm not rushing for guys to come back. I'll just say,
enough.
Got some runway. That's
big
it.
week,
That's
big week for him because he's going tonight. They got the Oilers in town on Saturday. Edmonton's starting to wake up, right? The Oilers have made a couple statements recently. So you got Bedard rolling through town, Celebrini rolling through town, no back-to-backs. Like, there's a chance he plays this out. We'll see if Woll returns on the weekend, but that could...
He's closer. Isn't Woll closer?
Who the hell knows, though, Noodles? You know what I mean? Every day it's the same thing. Yeah, no, he's progressing well. What? No one. He could be back in 2 months. I wouldn't be surprised. So I'm not holding my breath on anything with Joseph Woll. Hopefully he returns. But I think the rubber might meet the road on Saturday night in Edmonton. Again, this is putting the cart way before the horse. But let's say Hildeby plays well tonight. Huge game, Tampa in town. Tampa's lost 3 in a row, but they got Point and Kucherov back tonight. Vasilevsky not playing, though. And then is it Chicago, I believe, later in the week? And then Edmonton.
Jose, isn't it?
Is it San Jose? Okay, San Jose, then Edmonton, then Chicago.
Yeah.
Let's say he plays well tonight, Hildeby, plays well against San Jose, and Woll is off our IR, activated for Saturday night with Edmonton in town. Who do you play?
I'd say Woll, but I mean, like, Woll's a better goaltender.
No, I get it, but I don't know. If the guy plays well, it's just like a reward saying, you came in there, you did the job, why not run with it for a bit? Well, you know what?
So
you're getting to the point, Jamie. They're getting to the point, Jamie, where the other two guys, as talented as a goaltender, and you could say they're both better goaltenders, I don't trust them at all. That's where I've gotten to. I don't trust any of them.
Let me throw one more wrinkle in before you answer.
Okay,
Quickly before you answer.
Go ahead.
Hildeby suffers a minor injury, and he plays through it. Plays through it. Goes, I'm not coming out of the net. I'm playing, and I'm going to drag us to 2 points.
And he's the first star?
Yes. Fights through a minor injury.
If Hildeby kind of stretches his leg, his kneecap in the net, and sticks it out and stays in the net and is the first star, you're the starting goalie the rest of the year.
Okay, go ahead, Noodles.
The rest of the year now.
Yeah.
Okay, Dakota Mermis plays very, very well, and Chris Tanev's ready to play. But Mermis scores a goal and has an assist and maybe has a fight in a week and all that.
Is there that big of a drop-off? Like Tanev to Mermis is pretty extreme. Is Hildeby that much? Is he that far off from these two guys?
I think he's a good goaltender, has a chance to be an NHL goaltender, correct.
Okay.
Mermis, a good player that has a chance to be an NHL defenseman?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
so debatable, but sure, yeah.
Okay, so it's a bad analogy, but
I get what you're saying, though. I get where you're going.
What I'm saying is when your best players are available to play, I think you put them in there. I understand the debate, but when Hildeby gave up 6 in Columbus, the conversation was, we've got to get rid of this guy. Can't get in the net ever again. I believe that was in the internal text. This guy can't see the net ever again. I do believe there was some language in there.
Well, and to be fair, I think we've said it about all three of the goalies.
Everybody.
Yes, I think
guys,
all these
I'm
goalies. I'm
just at the point, and I'm saying the other two, they seem like great guys. They really do. They're great NHL goalies, but I don't trust them at all. Game 7s can't play. Playoff series hurt. 6-game stretches hurt. How could you ever trust that? Amazing guys. They seem like nice guys. Everybody likes them. Joseph Woll went through his personal stuff. Everybody supported him as they should. Came back. But as far as playing goalie in the league and being trustworthy, I do not trust either one of the two. Not at all. I don't. You can't.
I don't see how you could.
Listen,
no, exactly.
You can't argue against it.
It's a fair debate. Hayes, you have the saying. The best ability
is availability.
Yeah, and it's not one, it's 2.
Well, in fairness, every game I look at, I'm at these games, there's guys not available. Like the scratch list is insane throughout the National Hockey League. Like literally, you were just talking about it. Hey, Tampa's lost 3 in a row, but they're getting Point and Kucherov back. Vasilevsky goes on IR. Like every team is the walking wounded right now. What you have to do is look at the roster and go, who the hell's available tonight? And then you start to get excited and go, oh, that player's a good player. But getting back to the Hildeby, I think Hildeby's a good goaltender and has a chance to be an everyday NHL goaltender. He's big. He's got pretty good feet. I think he's got a nice demeanor. Like he doesn't look overwhelmed by anything. And he certainly played very well the other night and the previous
That's my
game.
only point, Jamie.
And
if you can provide some stable goaltending back there and you're durable, I have some time for you. Because like I just said about the other two, it's not a knock. It's just a fact. You can't trust them.
Well, and the sad part about it is when they are available, they're good goaltenders. Mm-hmm. Stolarz is a really good goaltender. So is Joseph Woll. Unfortunately, they're just not available to you right now. And what you have to do is worry about one game, and that's tonight. And then we'll deal with it again on Thursday. I would be happy to see Hildeby play very well tonight, and then Joseph Woll's available for Thursday, and we have this debate on Thursday after.
And Jamie,
Wednesday
we talked about it last week when you weren't here. It's not just about this year. This has been going on forever. Since Freddie Anderson was here, it's the same thing. Guys just disappear. And look, you're hurt, you get hurt. That's part of the game. It's tough being a goalie, but it's been going on from Freddie to Jack Campbell and on and on and on. It's crazy stuff.
I get it.
Samsonov, Matt Murray. It's just like, what is this?
Laundry list. I don't know. And then Haze gives the kiss of death to Vasilevsky because he goes, this guy never comes out of the net.
Now that guy goes on IR. He never did his whole career.
Yeah, he had the one back surgery, started the season 2 years ago, I think. Couple months he missed. But outside of that, he's been quite durable. Hellebuck, injured. Like it happens. It is one of those weird years. I think we're going to come back to it and keep saying it. It's a weird year, and teams are unbelievable, and then they're not unbelievable, and then this team looks good, and this team's hurt, and the storylines are insane. I was at a game Saturday. I went to that Rangers-Colorado game in New York. And McKinnon was quiet. McCarr was quiet. Panarin quiet. I'm watching. It's a 12:30 start in the afternoon. It's like kind of like a, quiet. Speed was there, but not. All of a sudden, McKinnon's got 2 goals. Panarin scores the game time. Like the Stars woke up. Shesterkin was unbelievable in that game. But there was nothing going on. The product was really weak until the Stars woke up. And really, it comes back to it tonight, star power on the ice. What has Matthews got? What has Willie got? What has Kucherov got? What has Point got? That's going to deliver wins and points.
You're telling me you were in New York City on like a leisure weekend and you went to a game?
Why not? What's wrong with going to Colorado's an unbelievable team.
No, I get it. But, like, were you with your wife or you, like?
Yeah, it was a family trip, but I took my son to the game. He loves Shesterkin, and he loves, he loves to watch hockey, obviously.
He loves Scott Wedgwood.
No, Wedgwood was – here's the other thing. Wedgwood was at scratch. Didn't play.
Right.
There's another thing. Like, there's a guy who's not available. He's on Team Canada's, watch list.
Yeah.
Like, it was – you're looking at the goalie. He's number 50, Milner. You're like, who the hell is that? You're like,
got himself a win at the Garden. That's pretty significant.
Well,
yeah. And I just want to clarify it again. Injuries suck. It's unfortunate, but this has been going on
for quite a while.
Yeah, no, it's very consistent. It's a very consistent team.
You never know when the goaltender's going to play.
Yeah,
it's very tough.
And they don't have an answer on either guy either. Let's be clear. Like, Stolarz has not even hit the ice. No one has a clue. The Leafs know what's going on, obviously, but they're not revealing anything. But if you haven't even skated, that means you're weeks away from even being close to playing.
That concerns me.
And, but with Wall, the same thing. Like, we're not going to talk about goalies all day because it's just depressing and stupid. Yeah. But it's the same thing. Like, he's progressing, blah, blah, blah. We've seen this song and dance 25 times this year from this team.
Might play Saturday. It also could be a month.
Exactly. Like, there's just as much of a chance he doesn't play again until 2026 that he plays on Saturday night. So
I feel bad for Chief. Because Chief's got to go out there and...
Well, he's got to take the bullets, and it's a team philosophy, and, I'm guessing the GM is the one that likely determines it, and Tree Living doesn't want any info out there. Okay. And honestly, if you look at the other players, how can you blame any of the players when the captain doesn't do anything? Like, like Austin Matthews wouldn't tell you if he got a haircut this morning. So the other players are probably like, well, I want the same treatment. Don't say anything. Like, just, I don't want to talk about it. I'm not going to be asked about it. I'm
know nothing.
Exactly, because if that's the approach that he gets, I'll take the same one. So it's an organizational thing, and it's an organizational approach. But, we talked about the Chiefs, and I thought of that analogy watching them yesterday, that we keep waiting for them to come alive. Like Kansas City, they've been so good for so long, they're waiting to come alive. It's the same thing with the Atlantic Division, where, like, for so long, it's the best division. 4 or 5 like stud teams. 5 teams made it out of the Atlantic yesterday, and last year, and they were all good teams.
Yeah.
The Atlantic Division looks like it's just the Kansas City Chiefs this year. It's just good, but not great. Like, if the Leafs win in regulation tonight, they're right in the mix of everything. Like, right in the middle of everything. They'd be 2 points behind Tampa. They're right there with the Habs. They're tied with Ottawa. Florida's right there after a wild weekend. They're all outside of Buffalo, who is still technically in it, but I don't think they don't deserve the benefit of the doubt just because of their history. The other 6 teams are just all right there. Boston's been much better than I thought they would, to their credit.
The swings are incredible. Look at
the
dump
the league,
New Jersey's taken. Like, New Jersey's taken a serious dump from where they were. They were skyrocketing atop the Metro, and the swing that Wash took. Wash was hovering around the bottom of the East.
Yeah.
And they just cranked
it around. They're red hot now.
But
they're red hot.
New York Islanders, Matthew Schaefer's New York Islanders, slam dunk rookie of the year, completely changed the organization.
Yeah, he has, the way he's been playing. And
and
again,
they've gotten stops from the goalie, too.
That helps, too. Yeah, Sorokin,
awesome.
His numbers have been, like, outrageously good.
Yeah.
But, again, you look at it, like, if the Leafs can find a way to win tonight in regulation, that would be nice. You're a point behind Montreal, 2 back at Boston, 2 back at Tampa. Like, you're right in the middle of everything because you picked up points in 5 of 6 or whatever it is.
That's the biggest challenge, Brian. Is it wins or losses, or it's just points?
Because
you're looking at it now, and what was their stretch like? 1 win in 7 or something. 1 in 6 they went in those 7 games.
Yep.
That's what put them on the bottom. If they go 6 of 7 in points, it puts them right back into the mix. Like, that's the challenge that you're seeing. Ottawa's lost, I think, 3 of 4 or 4 of 5. I can't remember.
Yep.
I've got to do the game tomorrow, so I'm digging in tonight. But it's stuff like that. You have any wild stretch, positive or negative, that week you're talking negative things or positive things about that particular team, because that's how close, and I believe it's probably going to be close all the year like that. It might be.
It very well could be. And again, like we talked about last week, it feels to me like it's a race to the Olympic break, and then everyone's going to be able to breathe for 3 weeks, and even the star players will go their separate ways, but some guys won't make it to the medal round, and they'll get home and they won't practice for a few days, and they'll be given a few days off, and it's a race to get there and survive and be afloat. And then the whole league at that point, you'll come back. The trade deadline will be right around the corner. There'll be like 20 games left, and it's going to be a sprint to see who gets in and who gets hot and who can chase the Stanley Cup. So big week for the Leafs. Again, they got 4 straight home games now. They're actually dogs at home tonight on FanDuel, which is, I guess, not surprising. Tampa, again, has lost 3 in a row. They're going to be inspired tonight. They're getting some star players back. But you've got Tampa tonight, then San Jose, then Edmonton, then Chicago. So a lot of star power, right? A ton of star power with Celebrini still doing it, Bedard still doing it, McDavid and Draisaitl are alive. So it's going to be a fun week. The winter meetings are starting. We'll continue to track that. Nothing's coming out of, the winter meetings as of now in terms of what the Jays are going to do. But depending on who you ask or who you hear from, it's like they're a lock to sign Kyle Tucker. They're a lock to do this. They're in on that guy. Yeah.
Everybody.
And not all of it's going to be true, clearly. And there is still a budget. They're not going to be able to just spend every penny they want. At some point, they're going to have to make decisions here. But it's going to be interesting to see what they do this week and what comes out of Major League Baseball. All right, Luke coming up. Chris Pronger coming up. Leafs in action tonight. There's a new ad by NBC that's causing a bit of a stir, preparing for the Olympic Games. We'll play that and get into it as well. OverDrive continues, TSN 1050 and on TSN 4.
Now, back to OverDrive with Haze, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
Was driving in my car on the way back from Collingwood, and on the radio on the way back, I heard a little factoid that the Oxford Dictionary's word of the year was rage bait. You guys know what rage bait is?
Yeah, I think. Do you want to flush it out for us? Go ahead if you.
Rage bait is just saying something to provoke somebody, right?
Okay. Yep.
So basically, I heard that and I said, let's turn that into OverDrive, and we could do a Haze bait where we could just come up with some thoughts, theories, comments that can just get you stirred up. Haze bait.
Okay.
I feel like Haze and company here, the three of us, do that once a week where we're like defending ourselves for just
the possible idea. Instead of rage bait, Haze bait.
I love it.
So
that's a Haze bait right there.
Are you suggesting you're going to say something that's going to set me off? Is that what it is?
We're going to get maybe Doogie to come up with some possible sports theories, ideas, who can win a Super Bowl, who's not going to make the playoffs.
Okay.
Who's going to be in top 10 in scoring, et cetera, et cetera. Something that might provoke you to have a comment.
Levels of rage. Okay.
Possibly.
I like that idea.
Spark debate, whatever.
Yeah. Although I do find that word, a lot of times, it's been cheapened in a way because, if you disagree.
Kids use it?
No, it's
You're rage baiting me, my daughters always say.
That's a big thing. But it's also, if someone just disagrees with you, I don't agree with that opinion. That's rage bait. It's like, no, it's just my opinion. It's not a rage bait.
Kidding.
I have this opinion and you disagree with it. You're entitled to disagree with it. But why is that enraging? It's not, it's like there are times where it's so obvious online. And there's some great, it's trolling is really what it is.
Yeah,
it is.
It's a different word for trolling. Rage baiting someone is just doing something to provoke. And, it can be very entertaining. I'm not going to lie to you. And tracking and reading comments in a rage bait post is actually some great stuff out there. But a lot of times it's like rage bait. I'm like, no.
Yeah,
I would pick that guy over that guy.
Here.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I have Tom Willson on my team. Rage bait. Yeah, rage bait. That's rage bait. Like, no,
rage bait might be people saying, "Oh, you guys are just carving the Toronto Maple Leafs goal." No, we're not. No. We're just stating the fact that they're never healthy, and they haven't been for years. That's fact.
And opinions, not rage bait. But I think there's something there. I think, you know what I think is going on here? You see NBC is trying to create some rage bait with this new Olympic ad that they've done.
That is so American for those guys to pull that stunt after losing the final game. I find it incredible that they pulled that one off.
We're going to play it. But can you guys explain to me how John Hamm became the American hockey guy?
Hockey guy? No kidding.
St. Louis. I mean, he's a big hockey guy. He's friends with, I think our buddy Chaser is pretty close with him.
Like, sure, he's a good guy, but
he's a great actor, and he's a
we're not disputing that. We're just wondering how he became the face of American hockey.
How is he? It's always John Hamm. Like the NHL awards, there's John Hamm.
Well, it was Will Arnett. Like I feel bad because those guys get hung out to dry when they go to these award shows, and they have people that write the script for them, and then the timing and the jokes don't work and all of that. But I don't know who else can you think of an American.
Well, that's what I'm asking. Like, because I know John Hamm was connected to the Blues run. Like, that was the thing. That became his thing. And you mentioned Will Arnett. Will Arnett is the Leafs. I don't think of him as Mr. Canada hockey. I've never seen Will Arnett represent Canada. You know, he's a Leaf fan.
Yeah.
And John Hamm's a Blues fan. But John Hamm has just become, that's the guy you get. Like, it's a pretty good gig. It's like typecasting
What about Brian
almost.
Leach or Brett Hall?
Well,
maybe you bring in a heavy hitter, American player. That'd be a good idea.
You're right, but you know what it is, though? He's probably the biggest name that isn't like an outed hockey fan. Because you go, hey, let's talk to Mel Gibson, or name me an American actor, and the guy's like, ice hockey? Maybe it's Will Ferrell, who's a Kings fan.
Yeah,
right?
he's a big fan.
Right. But maybe, I would have liked to see Will Ferrell go in there and make some jokes. But I thought Hamm did a good job.
Okay, let's play it. Why don't we play it? Because it's short and sweet, all right? And NBC, there's a lot going on in this, including Matthews is in it, Quinn Hughes is in there, Brady Tkachuk's in it.
Yeah.
This is NBC's promo for the upcoming Olympic Games.
All right, Team US.
Good job.
Chill, you guys feel that? It's an honor to speak to you all before you head off to the Olympics. You're going to Milan to bring home the biggest prize of all.
Canadian tears.
Yeah. Exactly. Wait, what? What did Canada do?
Stuff.
But they're usually so polite.
Not anymore.
Really? No. Are we sure we can't just hug it out? No. Go get them, boys.
All right. Some horrible acting in there, like overacting. My guess would be Hamm wasn't even in the room with them. Like the players were doing it individually on their own thing, maybe at some like summit or something like that. But like the big laugh at the end that's a bit much. But
the overacting.
Yeah, and what I think is smart of this is they're trying to capitalize on the Four Nations clearly, and that's what it was. They're showing the fight, which again, Americans, I think some Canadians. You're going to be very disappointed. There will not be a fight at the Olympic Games. There's no fights. There's no big hits. None of that stuff really happens.
I honestly think if you ask the Canadian players, if you ask Sid, if you ask Connor, if you ask Drew Dowd, they wouldn't have done that. They would not have done that. First of all, it's almost like you're putting all the other teams like aside, and it's going to be Canada's the only team there. That would be one of the Canadian players' first comments. It's like, oh, it's just automatically going to be Canada, USA. That's a little bit – they just wouldn't have done it. I don't think the Canadian players would have done that.
The problem is – now, who was that released by? Was that a rights holder? Was that an NBC?
Well, NBC,
it's an NBC
They're the Olympics, yeah.
Okay, so, I mean, you see things – guys do things for rights holders all the time. Even
Jamie, I totally get it. You got to do stuff like that. You got to pump up the Olympics. I just think in that form, I don't know if the Canadian guys –
Well, they wouldn't have to because we don't – like we beat the U.S. every time. Like, there's no, it would land up here actually maybe more than ever right now, considering what's going on between the two countries. I know,
but if you said to Sid and Connor, just say, do this and say American tears, and everyone go, ha, 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 they'd be like, we're not doing that. They would not do it.
Well, they're all getting paid for this, too, right? Like, they're not doing something free for NBC. I'm fairly certain Matthews isn't showing up and doing something for free, and neither is John Hamm. So there's probably a pretty significant paycheck involved. You know, and as someone pointed out, and I think it's a very good point, you have to have Eichel say that line because the other guys are captains of Canadian teams. Can't have Matthews or Brady Tkachuk or Quinn Hughes do it. They're the captains of Canadian teams.
That's a great point. I didn't even think about that. You're right. Like Canadian tiers, and Brady goes back.
Yeah.
I got to ask him about it tomorrow.
Absolutely.
You know, like that just, you're right. It's Eichel because in Vegas, hey,
go for it.
Go ahead.
Go for it.
But we're talking about it. It's gamesmanship. Like I didn't have a problem with it. I do agree. I don't think Sid and Nate and McDavid with the way that they're wired. But it's not like Austin Matthews is this mouthpiece. You know, he's pretty quiet.
He barely said anything in the whole thing.
Anything. You know, I think Brady doesn't mind. His brother would be front and center on that. His brother's making the rounds right now. I saw a commercial. I watched that Florida broadcast. I think it was yesterday. Matthew was in like 4 commercials. A bank commercial, all of that. Like,
sure.
They embrace it, but yeah, I don't know. I couldn't see Sid doing it.
I don't think Canadians, I don't think you'd have to because, again, this puts, I don't want to say it puts pressure on the Americans, but it puts a light on the fact that it's the one sport where Canada just owns it. We always have, and the Americans are chasing us. You know, there's no other big sport that you can speak to, certainly not, you know, the major North American sports where we really realistically contend. Like in basketball, we're getting close. In soccer, we're kind of there. We're there. But it's been a Canadian game forever. The Americans are selling it. This is about selling it to American hockey fans. That's why they're showing the fight. Yeah. They're trying to capitalize on the Four Nations, which actually...
They just have to find a way to get it done, Brian, in the big moment. Because if you want to talk about... Like, it is Canada's game. We have owned it in those big moments, Olympic golds. But their program, like if you go to a World Juniors and watch the way that they play hockey, they're
really good. They're really good.
They're damn good.
As we've stated, though, these are straight facts, just like your Hilda v. goalie facts. They never win. The Americans never win. They won the 96 World Cup. Other than that, nothing. And I know people are going to say, what about the 1980? Was Gretzky in that? No. Like that was amateur hockey players in 1980. It was not best on best. So before you get in my DMs and say blah, 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 the Americans never win big events. And I think this is a compliment to Canada, compliment to Canadian players. And it's about selling a game that's not ultimately going to be there, though. I think that's what's going to be disappointing is after the Four Nations, and we're all on record, the shows are podcasted, they're up on YouTube, I thought that was going to be a rinky-dink operation. The Four Nations, I put no time and energy into it prior to it starting. I didn't care about it. I didn't think it would mean anything. I was completely wrong. It was a phenomenal product. It was a phenomenal example of catching lightning in a bottle. I would do anything to be able to replicate that at the Olympic Games, but it won't happen because it's not just Four Nations. There's no fighting. Again, the refereeing is very different. The rinks are different. The time is different. They're not playing at 8 p.m. prime time at the Bell Center. Like it's going to be different. So they're trying to promote it that way, but it's going to look and feel different.
What is the fighting rule? You get in a fight, you're gone for the tournament?
Well, it's at least a game. Yeah. I mean, when was the last time there was a fight at the Olympics? I don't know if there ever has been.
I would love to see one. I think it'd be awesome.
Do you think it's going to happen? What's your Jerry's on that happening?
I think if one team gets up and the other, I think you could see one. I would love to see one. Problem is
you're
European
not going
hockey
to.
and Olympics.
You're not going to.
I think you could see one. That's
why would
Jerry's.
But here's the thing: you just referenced if one team's getting blown out. Why would the team winning take the fight and get suspended for the next game? Or why would you do that? Like if Brady Tkachuk is like, hey, I want to fight Sam Bennett because we're losing 7-1. If you're Sam, you'd be like, I'm not fighting you. We're in the semifinals next round or whatever.
The only thing I can say is tell these guys to dial it back a little bit when there's an ugly hit.
There aren't really ugly hits at the Olympics.
Yeah, well, you know what? Then Olympic hockey has got to get some grit involved here.
I hear
ridiculous.
You. I hear you, Noodles, but it just doesn't happen. It's a different game.
It's like, I always hated some of the Olympic hockey rules and all that. Like the refs they're not the best refs in the world. They got a big attitude, big chip on the shoulder.
Yep.
All of that type of stuff. And the fighting, it's like college hockey, or you fight, you're out, and all of that. Like, to me, allow it to seep into it a little bit. I would like
You're
to see
preaching
more.
to the choir on that. I would absolutely love to see that.
Did you guys see the dimensions? It is 3 feet in length, but that's not the worst thing in the world. It's 85
not
feet
huge.
wide,
Yeah.
right? Like
it's not that significant.
The incredible part about it is how somebody butchered that.
Yeah.
It's like Antonio. Walk 285 down there with the tape and mark it off. Not 282, 285.
Yeah.
How you butchered that is insane.
But it's done. It's happening. They're going to go. They're going to play.
Yeah.
But listen, that's what I'm rooting for is Canada, U.S., and the gold. Who isn't? Who isn't? Obviously, if you're in Sweden or Finland or whatever. But and NBC most certainly is. That's how you're going to get ratings. Same thing up here. Like if Canada's in the gold medal, the ratings will be huge. They will be larger. I'm not going to say significantly larger, but larger if they play the Americans. Probably by a few million people.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, and I'm talking the Canadian audience. Like Canada in a gold medal game probably still does 14 million. I don't know. I don't know what the reference points are from previous Olympics. But if it's Canada, U.S., it ratchets up that much more. Like it just you can't make it bigger than it is right now. So that's it's a good sales pitch, like you said, Noodles. We're talking about it. And they don't care about us, NBC. We're up here.
No,
they want people in the States to talk about it.
Listen, I get it. I just I think it's this wish list. We all sit there as a fan, like not even me as a former player, as a fan going, the best involves emotion. The best involves and it's hard for these guys who are ultra emotional. You talk to them after that, going into it, we all thought that whatever that was last year. What was the name again? I always draw a blank.
The Four Nations?
Four Nations face-off. Exactly.
Okay.
We had thought that was going to be a glorified,
Yeah, I thought it'd be an all-star
game.
Weekend.
And I think those guys showed up, and then they realized the emotion was there and dug in. It's tough to dial back your emotion. A guy like Brady Tkachuk, if somebody hits his teammate headfirst in the boards, I think he would have a tough time not grabbing somebody and trying to get into it.
Well, there'll be scrums and stuff. It just,
right.
What's going to happen is if you lose your cool, we talked to Rod Brindamore about this last week, playing the Russians.
Yeah.
Back in '89, but you just go around try to kill everyone. The Russians are just going to call penalties.
Yeah.
It's just a very different style of game, and it's officiated differently, and that's what's going to factor into who they choose to play for the team.
Yeah.
And who you want, who you trust, all these type of things are going to go into it. But, it's interesting that, Austin was there, and there's Quinn Hughes and Brady Tkachuk, and the Quinn Hughes stuff, man, just keeps coming. What's going to happen with Vancouver and what his future is going to look like. And
I think it's best for everybody if they're going to go through this nonsense, just get it done.
Man.
It feels like it's trending towards Patterson,
Yes.
JT Miller territory. You know what I mean? Where that just became inevitable. You're like, it's so loud. It's so aggravating for everyone. You just got to rip the Band-Aid off and go.
That's
someone, and in this case doesn't include multiple players, but they're a bad team too. Like Vancouver, late last week, they were dead last in the NHL. So they're really struggling. The market's really turned on them. Quinn Hughes, his approach, he's a pretty laid-back guy. His approach is pretty nonchalant. And I don't know if that helps in a scenario
Think about the
like
other
this.
guys in the dressing room, Haze. I'm just kind of a nosy person in general, but if there was rumors of a guy that was you'd show up every day, you'd ask the trainers that it's so-and-so, you'd talk to the team, sir, so-and-so. It's distracting for everybody. Because everybody else is what the hell's going on here? Is our best player by a million miles going to be gone the next morning? So I don't know. Unless Quinn Hughes has addressed the team, that would be mandatory for me. It's not like you'd go up to him and say, hey, could you address the team? But you just want some clarity, saying, can you just let us know what the hell's going on here instead of us waiting every day to see if this is going to happen? It's very distracting for everybody involved.
It's not going to get quieter.
No.
That's the thing. It's not going to get quieter. His comments the other night kind of he acknowledged it. He basically said there's a conversation or not. I'm not involved or whatever. Whatever happens. Hey, we're glad we won. That's basically what he said. Glad we won on a Saturday night. It's not going to stop. It's going to be noisy. And there is going to be decisions to be made here with that organization sooner than later. If they blow it up, he's going to go, what are we doing here? Keep in mind, this guy's a year and a half away from an extension if he's going to stay long-term there or not.
And again, there's only Nashville has fewer points.
Right.
So the only way this was it was going to be kind of loud, even if they were pretty good. Like if they were really good and going to the playoffs, then everyone would stop asking because you just realize Vancouver's not moving them. It's not going to happen. He's going to play.
Second last, it's going to be an everyday combo.
Exactly. And if this keeps going south and they keep losing, and you get a month from now and they're 10 points out of the playoffs, it'll be every single day.
Yeah.
Why are you still here? What are you doing?
What's the sense? What's the sense?
And what's the pitch if you're Vancouver? What are you pitching to him? Other than I can give you an extra year or we'll pay you whatever you want, but you can't, it's very difficult to pitch a vision right now. If you're Jim Rutherford, teams are not very good. So what are you pitching for his future? That's a big part of this as well.
We had hoped that Demko was healthy. We had hoped that Hughes, was a rock star like he is. He's an absolute rock star. And we had hoped that Pettersson came back with vengeance. Everyone talked about it. He's heavier, is more confident, all of that type of stuff. They've got good players there. It's kind of like that Buffalo scenario. When you look at the team on paper, you go, there's some good players there. It's just not, injuries, obviously, Demko not being available. I cannot pronounce the goaltender that played on Saturday's night's name.
Not Lankinen, obviously.
For Vancouver. His name is Nikita Tipperlo.
Okay, I got you.
6'6" goaltender from Belarus. Now he's 2-0 this season.
Right.
He played very, very well for them. 25 years old.
Is this also why Tocchet said check please? Did Rick Tocchet see this coming?
You don't think that he would have sniffed that out?
He must. That was the worst sign of them all. You're like, this coach who just won Coach of the Year said, actually, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And I'm going to Philly, who has not done anything in years either. Obviously, he's got a connection to the market, but that was the tip of the iceberg. And obviously, Rick Tocchet sniffed it out.
It's an indictment on Pettersson. If he sniffed out Pettersson saying that's not getting better,
right?
Then he was like,
we picked the wrong guy here. I got to leave because I can't win with this guy.
Yeah, and you talk about the future of the team. The future of the team could possibly be in what you get back for Quinn Hughes. That's going to be the big thing.
Right.
You're getting rid of one of the best, not just defensemen, players in the league, possibly a top 5 or 6 player. Mm-hmm. What you're going to get back for that could somehow reshape your organization. But there's still some problems on that roster that are going to be around for a long time.
Well, I have a dear friend Carl from Cloverdale, calls into all the stations, all of that. Huge Canucks fan. I talked to him and he's like, Jamie, I'm beside myself. Because he's been calling for them to blow it up for years. Because there's always been that patchwork and close. And I think a lot of the fan base wants an old school rebuild. But there is retooling now on the fly when you have good pieces there. It's just a matter of what you're going to do. Right?
I think the owner, the owner has had a reputation of not being willing to accept that. Yep. Right? Whether that's accurate or not, that's always been the reputation that I've read and heard. Yep. Is that it's just, nope, got to go, got to make playoffs, got to sell tickets, got to sell jerseys. Because they brought in a Vander Kane for some reason. What was the purpose of that? To do what? And now you've got him. You re-signed Brock Besser, which I could understand to an extent, but the Hedl again has had injuries, not even playing. The Miller deal just kind of came and went. And that's what would concern me is Miller. They were up against it because they had lost leverage because everyone knew you had to flip them or it felt that way. But they did not get some monumental package for JT Miller. So are they going to get it for Quinn Hughes?
You should have seen that Miller skate around there on Saturday.
He's buzzing now all of a sudden. He's the captain of the team. He better be.
Well, he was
just having a good time.
Got interested a little bit in the game.
He was having a good time.
Quiet.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty quiet.
OverDrive powered by FanDuel, bringing you more ways to play your game your way. Luke coming up. Luke Willson on the Monday Nighter tonight. The end of a Chiefs run and how quickly they can turn that around. Are the Bills the best team in the AFC? We'll get to something to chew on. Brought to you by Boston Pizza as well. OverDrive continues. TSN 1050 and up on YouTube Live. All right, Luke Willson coming up. Chris Pronger, best bets. Leafs Lightning tonight, Monday Nighter. Chargers, Eagles, HBO on the clock. So we'll have that pick. And, we're coming. We've got the winter meeting starting up in Major League Baseball. And as of now, no news. But something's going to happen. Something will happen this week. Someone will sign, or there'll be a trade or a significant rumor. So we'll track that, see where it goes. The World Juniors, obviously, they're tracking towards, later this month down in Minnesota, right? And Dale Hunter back behind the bench for Canada. And they
love it. Love it.
Yep. It's great to have him back there, right? He's a winner, and they need it. They got to. Enough of this quarterfinal stuff. You got to start going to the dance. And man, their team is loaded.
Yeah,
what they announced
should
today.
be loaded. Yeah. And I'm tired of the quarterfinals. I only do the Canada games, and I have had to rearrange travel plans 2 years in a row.
Yeah, unacceptable. Unacceptable. Let's make sure we stay down there. Yeah, we need Canada to go deep here. I feel good about it. And they're still waiting to see if other NHL players could come back. I mean, obviously we don't know at this point. But some of them are already returned, right? Or that announcement's already been made. So, and every year you get to it where you're like, well, Celebrini could still technically be on the team.
Yeah, he's not going back.
No, I'm pretty sure he's not. That would actually be a pretty funny email to send. Like Dale Hunter sends an email to Mike Greer. Just checking in on Celebrini's availability. Please get back to me. I just want to confirm or deny that he's not available. Guy's second in the league in points. But just want to
win the Hart Trophy this year.
Yeah,
that kid.
Just want to scratch him off the list.
Funny.
Just doing my due diligence. Let me know if he's available. All right, awesome. Luke coming up. Chris Pronger coming up. Overdrive continues. TSN 1050 and up on YouTube Live.
This is Overdrive with Haze, Noodles, and the O-Dog on TSN 1050.
If you smell what the
Quinn Willson
is cooking, girl, you know it's true.
Hour 2 Overdrive continues. Brought to you by FanDuel, bringing you more ways to play your game your way. You know the music. You know what that means. There he is, Luke Willson, in the house.
That's your new salute.
I got no TV to look at, man. These guys don't even give me a TV when I come in here.
I know. Doogie just completely jammed you. He treats you like you should be on the practice squad.
That is JP's responsibility.
Okay, JP, my apologies, Doogie. JP treating you like you should be on the practice squad.
Doogie's the commissioner, although he leans towards the easier. Hayes bullies him, so that's what happens is Hayes get the easier matchups because Hayes leans on him a little bit.
That can't be
very
proven.
factual.
That can't be proven.
Very factual.
But I will say this. I should start by saying I feel like I jammed you up, Luke, because I believe too much in KC.
No, I do too.
That's my fault.
That's
Noodles.
a leader right there, falling on the sword for you. Something
it's
O's
my
never
fault.
done in his life.
I agree with that statement. But the funny thing is, I'm driving in today, and I'm like, wow, this is going to be another tough segment. And, I probably have lost 5 games on Kansas City this year.
I kept telling you.
And I just keep going back to the well.
Dude, when are you going to – are you done now?
They're
are you
just
done
not
now?
that good.
No.
They're just not that good.
You're the
man.
guy at the bar where the server just says, are you done now? And you just say, no, you
One
won't
more
stop,
shot.
man.
One more.
It's tough because, it's taken over where on the, I'm watching all the games, getting ready for the CTV show and then Jay stuff. And I'm just, so locked in on these spreads. I don't care who wins. And even, we get the Steelers, which was a good pick. The Steelers, I think, surprised a lot of people.
Great pick.
And I'm like, okay, we need to sweep today. We got to sweep. And the Bears are battling. I'm like, there's no way this is a 7-point final. And Caleb Williams decides to throw one of the worst throws of the year on 4th and 1.
Yeah.
And we lose that spread. And I'm like, you know what? At the end of the day, I got Patrick Mahomes at home, playoff hopes on the line. I need a 4-point win.
Let me just ask on the Caleb Williams thing. Should he have just got the first down and got out of bounds, or what the hell should he have done there?
So it's funny, O-Dog, when you watch that back, it's a pretty generic play. And we talked about it on Jay yesterday where I didn't hate the play call. I get rolling out, and everyone's like, oh, he's rolling out to his weak side. Sure, whatever. He can throw that way. He's not limited. This guy doesn't have limited ability throwing while rolling out to his left.
He's outside the pocket the whole game.
Correct.
That's his play.
How that works is you've got, I don't know if we can pull it up. Not sure if Doogie has it, but you've got DeAndre Swift in the flat. There's your first read. Your second read is Cole Kmet, and he's wide open. I know it was a pick, but if you look at it from the end zone view, Cole Kmet is wide open. You float that ball to the back pylon. Kmet 6'6", he runs under it, he catches it. It's a tie game, and I got a feeling Ben Johnson goes for 2.
He might have, yeah.
I had a feeling.
But he threw it too late for that.
He threw it way too late, and the other thing is you're going to throw it late, at least throw it high.
Mm-hmm.
So then where I get a bit annoyed when I'm watching it and I'm hoping for the spread to be covered is if you're late like he was, O-Dog, we have a route, and again, if you're one of those football junkies, go back and watch DJ Moore. So DJ Moore comes on what I like to call a late slide. It's almost the exact same route as a Swift, but they do it way later. We'd say like, yo, you got to be open all day. So we named it an all-day route. And basically you let everything float as he's rolling out way in front of you, and then you just find a little gap kind of in the middle of nowhere. You float around, similar to a floating bag, okay? And that's your third read. And you'll look at this thing, and I watched it 4 or 5 times where it's like Swift is covered with 3 guys. Everybody goes there, and they're all playing him to potentially run. Here you go. Watch DJ Moore here late. You see number 2 if you're watching.
Right in the middle there, yeah.
It's just like, what are we doing? Like, if you didn't like the throw to Kmet or you couldn't get it off, you go back to the all day, and he literally could shot put that to DJ Moore, and he's scampering into the end zone. First down guaranteed, most likely a touchdown. So I think if you're Ben Johnson, in the Bears, you sit there and you're like, man, we went into Lambeau. We gave a great game to arguably one of the best teams in the league. And if our quarterback goes through a simple progression late in this game, either makes the throw or gets to his third option, we're going for 2 to beat the Packers in Lambeau.
Mm-hmm. That's one of those things, my old Partsy, where I don't believe a lot in the, you just get smoked and you say, that was a learning lesson. That was a coachable moment. But with that kid's progression this year, Williams, I think that could be a coachable moment where if he gets in that position again in a big game, he'll just say to himself, I'm not doing that garbage again. So I think that could possibly turn in, if he's the right kind of athlete and thinks about it the right way, that could be one of those coachable moments where he'd be like, if I get my team in that position again, that is the one thing I cannot do.
I agree. I guess where I get my my antenna goes up with Caleb is when you watch that game closely, he made so many wildly cool plays where he's flush from the pocket. Like there was a throw to Cole Kmet down the sideline.
Kind of sidearm throw.
It was just, he threaded over a guy. Kmet fell in bounds. It was a big play in the game.
Yep.
These are the hard things. Like, he does the hard stuff really well. The touchdown to Zacchaeus in the end zone was crazy. But then on the flip side, it's like, we call a 4th and 1 play, and 2 of your 3 options are wide open, and we throw a pick. That's where I get my antenna goes up, where I'm like, you got to do the easy stuff well, and, if you want to have continued success in this league. But it is definitely a teachable moment. Hopefully he
well, it was great.
Well, you want to talk about an antenna. If you get in that moment again and he does it again, then your antenna just blows right off the machine.
Totally.
Right. Yeah, it was a great game, though. I was impressed with the Bears in the second half.
And you look at the Bears right now, Haze, I thought they were fraudulent. They beat the heck out of Philadelphia, and then they come in against your Pack and take them to the brink. And I would put the Packers, I think there's an argument the Packers are the 2nd or 3rd best team in the NFL right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're getting better. I mean, the last 2 weeks are big wins, like at Detroit and then at home against Chicago. And they still have to go to Soldier Field later in a couple of weeks, which will likely determine the division. But they're clearly getting better. Like, Jordan Love's getting better. They're getting healthy. Jaden Reed being back is big.
Christian Watson
being healthy is big.
Totally.
And the defense continues to grow. They continue to make plays, and their run defense has been much better than it has been in past years. You look at the NFC, there's a lot of really good teams. Where conversely on the AFC side of things,
polar opposite.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at it today, and why don't we bring you into the fold here? Something to chew on, brought to you by Boston Pizza's NFL Game Day menu. Stop by your local BP for $7 touchdown pints, dialed-in shareables, and weekly prizing up for grabs. Football game days are better at BP. We're asking people, if you had to choose the AFC representative to go to the Super Bowl, Bills versus the field, who are you taking as of today?
As of my favorite?
As who you think will be there. In San Fran, representing the AFC. The Bills versus the field.
I'd take the field, but it's not that easy. I don't want to make it sound like I'm
on the Bills right now. I feel better about the Bills.
Over the Pats?
Yes.
Listen
to where I feel better about the Bills going to the Super Bowl today than I did when I picked them in September.
How?
Because of the Kansas City's done.
Sure.
You woke up in Western New York today. You're breathing easy, man. They're done. It's over. You're not worrying about them.
They're not done officially yet, but I'm with you.
But you know what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying.
And even if they get in, I'm not that worried about them.
Fair. They look terrible.
Yes. Baltimore's terrible.
Cooked.
They're cooked. They're out of the way. So the avenue, they may not catch New England. And it's not that my argument isn't even about them winning the division. They still can, but I think it's tough. Even if they win in New England, I'm not even convinced they can do it.
How does New England not scare you at all?
Because of history first and foremost. That quarterback's young. He's got no playoff experience. That's a big point to bring up. And their avenue is likely going to be through Pittsburgh, then likely through Denver. And then maybe New England or Jacksonville in the championship game. That sets up beautifully for
timeout. I'm going to throw a couple caveats in here.
Ahead.
I think Houston wins the division. They're only a game back. I don't think the Colts win another football game.
They're
cooked.
Where's their owner with the headset?
Yeah, they're cooked.
Yeah,
She's up in the
Jones.
Yeah, she's done.
She's up in the
Colts schedule is a bloodbath.
Yeah.
I think that's Seattle,
they're
San
done.
Fran. Like, they're cooked.
But the Jags keep winning ball games.
Agreed, but the Texans do as well, and they play each other, and they're only a game back.
Yes. Okay. So do you think they can beat the Bills at home in a playoff game?
I think the Texans can beat anyone with that defense. That defense is the real deal.
They are
and
very
this is
good.
what I'll say about the Bills, and it's just the reality of the situation. Yesterday's game, granted, it's a snow game.
How much fun was that
It
game?
was awesome. It was my favorite game of the day.
Unbelievable.
Josh Allen is the best player on planet Earth.
Mm-hmm.
He just is right now. But after that, Cook and the offensive line have had unbelievable games, good moments. But other than that, there's not much going on. And this is why I would say the field, like, I definitely think Buffalo can make the Super Bowl. I'm not saying that. But it's just like, if you look at the first Joe Burrow pick, which flipped the game, that's a run play where Joe kind of goes a little rogue.
That was weird.
What happens is he sees there's a blitz coming, and then he's like, Aaron Rodgers does it a lot. You probably remember this back in the day. It's like, oh, this is a run, but Aaron decided to throw a quick slant.
Mm-hmm.
Joe picked up on it and then didn't get a grip of the ball. And if you look at it, he kind of shot-putted it. And if you look at it from a far angle, Jamar Chase didn't exactly run what Joe thought he was going to do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a bit of a miscommunication, more so on Cincinnati. Great job by the Bills taking advantage of it. And then you have the next play pick. And to me, as much as you're saying the Bills are going to the Super Bowl, in the same breath,
I feel very good about it.
if the Burrow doesn't make that decision and hands the ball off, we're probably talking about, are the Bills making the playoffs?
I hear you. But like all last year, we talked about Kansas City. All they did was win one score games.
Totally.
Right? And well, if this didn't happen, we just talked about it, if Caleb Williams threw this, it didn't happen, though.
I'm with you, but Kansas City has Mahomes. Buffalo has Josh Allen. Kansas City also has Chris Jones, Steve Spagnuolo calling the defense, and even them last night, I thought their defense looked amazing.
Yes.
Okay. Buffalo doesn't have that.
Their defense is scary, but I think McDermott.
Kansas City has Travis Kelce, the best pass-catching tight end of all time.
Do you put anything into the fact that the Bills did not punt yesterday? I believe that's the first time they've done that in a game in like 3 years.
This is where it gets like.
I know, but that's McDermott. You talk about his reputation has been conservative.
Totally.
More of a defensively minded coach, which he is. Is McDermott realizing it? Maybe I can't get this defense going. I got to let the offense cook a little bit more than it has in the past.
I think he has, and I know I've brought this up on here a lot, Hayes, and I think it drives me nuts. I do agree with everything you're saying, and even more so now, the fact that they did not make a big move at the trade deadline.
Yeah.
Right.
Drives me insane. If you're a Bills fan, it's like this is the clearest path as far as like probably no Lamar. Now they could still sneak back in.
Yes.
Okay, and probably no Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're feeling great about this.
This is your avenue
But
to do it.
I would feel a lot better if they had a true number one receiver.
Do you think they go all in on Justin Jefferson this summer? If he's available, if he demands out,
sure,
you just give them everything and just say we'll do anything to get you.
I think they should, but will they know?
Why?
Why didn't they do anything? Why didn't they go get Jaden or Waddle?
Right.
You know, why didn't they go get
Miami's
anyone?
starting to win ball games, too.
This is what's kind of trippy.
Sneaky.
I don't know if we have
They're
the
not
board.
trash anymore.
All of a sudden,
Miami has the same record as KC, and they're both technically still alive.
6 and 7, absolutely alive.
Good thing Al's bro wasn't on here when you heard that.
Yeah,
Right, is he doing that stupid 6-7 thing?
Oh, that's right. He still is.
So I look at this board right now, and again, let's take Baltimore out of it because Pittsburgh, Baltimore's still in. But let's say the Chargers lose tonight. You've got I don't think the Colts, I'm taking them off my own personal board. Miami and KC, Baltimore are 2 games back of the Chargers. KC plays the Chargers next week at home. So, I don't know who's going to win that game, but we're still very much alive, I think, for that 7 seed. I think Houston probably gets in there. If you're one of those other teams right now, including Miami, you got to be pulling for the Eagles tonight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gotta be.
Well, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But, let's say this is the end for the Chiefs. How confident are you that they can turn it around quickly and that Mahomes will compete for more Super Bowls in his career? 10 out of 10 confidence.
I'll tell you this. This is what I'd say.
Did you expect any other answer?
Okay,
he still thinks they're winning the
at
Super Bowl this year.
Well,
let's look at how these guys are playing.
We love that. Like we're all tricked. That's the thing. Like I feel like I just keep going back to the well. I'm like, they're just going to snap out of it. I don't know. Like,
not this year.
This is my thing.
This
is my thing with the Chiefs this year, okay? And why you say, like, how confident. First off, Mahomes has looked awesome. I thought he looked awesome again last night.
How is that possible when he throws 3 picks, though?
I mean, the one hit Kelsey in the hand bounces off. It's like one of them was a glorified punt. It was a 42-yard.
I just feel like, he has gotten enough compliments throughout his career where when you lose a must-win game at home and you throw 3 picks, he doesn't need compliments.
Okay,
and you're not alone, because I saw other people. I think Ryan Clark tweeted something out like, he's underrated. I'm like, are you crazy? This guy, since like 2 or 3 years in the league, people are saying he's better than Brady.
I don't love the idea. I never said.
I'm not comparing you to him. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and I'm not a big Ryan Clark guy.
I hear you. I'm just saying. I think the instinct is like you got to protect Mahomes all the time.
But this is my thing. You look at yesterday. 4th and 1, perfect magical moment. Excuse me, I don't know if it was the 4th and 1 or 4th and 4. I think it was the 4th and 4. Rasheed Rice, it's a bad draw.
Yes.
Okay. Anyways, you're down 7.
The throw to Kelsey was behind him.
Agreed, but Kelsey's the best pass catching tight end in the NFL.
Yes.
He makes that play, and that's where it's like I look at the Chiefs this year, and why I think that they'll be still very competitive is. Another under-the-radar play from last night is Butker missing a kick.
Yep.
He makes that kick, the 4th and 1 that they got stopped and totally changed momentum, doesn't happen because they're up 3 and they're kicking there for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Andy Reid's going, I have no problem winning this game 13-10.
Right.
The only guy that jams is Team Noodleson. Which he's not Pete Carroll thinking about us,
About that. Pete, what the hell was that?
We'll talk about that.
What was Pete doing kicking a field goal there with no time left on the clock to cover the number?
Betting people that were just
the flag too. The delay of game flag was outrageous. The clock should have just run out and game's over.
I'm with you, but I actually, and I know I'm in the minority here. Technically, I think everything was done correctly,
including kicking the field goal there.
So this is, and I know Pete. This is how Pete's brain works. I'm telling you. And granted, I'm not giving
the bad beat of all bad beats.
So what happens
of all time?
What happens in these 2-minute drives? And if you look at Lockett, and again, I would know this because Lockett was right beside me for a lot of years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What they teach guys, and it's kind of funny, is when you get tackled on a 2-minute drive, to run the ball to the official, and Pete would be like, "Listen, hand it to him. Do not." And he'd have all these random clips from random games. Where guys would even be like from you to me away, and they'd throw the ball to the ref.
It falls on the ground. And
he'd be like, these refs can't catch. There's some of the worst athletes out there. You just burn 2 seconds. So he'd be like, sprint in, hand the ball right in his hand, then get back to your side.
Mm-hmm.
On the flip side, on defense, what they would teach guys is if you make the tackle, to just kind of lay and like get up really slowly. And it's like, all we're looking for is 1 second. He'd always say that.
Every second matters.
1 second in that moment. So what jams everybody here is Lockett is a habitual slide guy. He catches the ball sliding. He doesn't like taking hits. He's been this way for the last decade. So Lockett catches that ball. He's on the ground, and I believe it's Jones. Jones, instead of touching him, decides to kind of belly flop on him to create that moment like, hey, I made the tackle.
And I'm killing time
And
here.
then he gets up slow, and then he swipes at the ball, and if you look, Lockett loses it. So, like, although it's very ticky-tack, that is a delay a game.
Okay.
It's a legit penalty. Like, this is talked about in meetings where it's like, hey, you got to make it look believable. And Jones, that's the least
There's going to be guys tracking those plays tonight.
Totally. So
like in the second quarter, it's not delay a game. It is with 3 seconds left.
Right.
Pete is like a notorious, overly positive guy, almost delusional. And I love that about him. But I guarantee you Pete went up to Carlson and was probably like, hey, we're going to kick this field goal, drill it, and go low. And maybe we get 1 second left. And it was close.
Yeah.
And then what you would need, which, again, I'm not saying this right, but you need to onside kick it, but also hope that they get a penalty.
Right.
So I don't know if you tell a guy
outrageous.
to go, but the other way is, okay, then you go around and you throw the Hail Mary. Let's say you do catch it, time's out. So, like, by the book, Pete did it right.
Okay. Ooh. Speaking of doing it right, there's a guy. Process matters, and
I just have to say, it's been a long time. I feel like I'm part of a team again. I love you.
Yes.
Great to have you.
I do too. And look, you guys picked me up because I was on the fence and I was kind of leaning Bears, but you guys picked me up and you kind of knew. You had a feeling, no, this is a Packer game, and you were right.
Correction. The O-Dog picked us up.
O-Dog.
Because I generally recuse myself with the Packer games. You know I've got too much bias in that. I don't see the board clearly. The O-Dog stepped in and said they win by a touchdown.
O-Dog's dead.
Definitively
we
said
lost
that.
on the hook there, and the Chiefs puke all over themselves.
I know,
We're back
tough.
down 13.
Well, you did get the Steelers game. And, how's this going to work with Tomlin quickly before we get to the pick? If the Steelers win the division, he's not going anywhere. Right? They're not going to fire him or anything unless
he
wants
has his
to leave.
own option, doesn't
I'll tell
he?
you.
Yeah, I know. But it's now there's good vibes out there. I saw DK Metcalf's on special teams, and Rodgers is they look like a pretty connected team to me.
The most shocking thing of the weekend for me was the fourth down, go for it. The first one that Andy Reid did when they were tied. But a close second was how great the offense looked. They had no run game. So it wasn't like, hey, run the football, and now all of a sudden everyone's in the box and we can throw it. Aaron Rodgers threw for 284. At one point, I thought he was going to throw for 330. DK had 137. You just said it. I'm sitting there with producer Dennis Barham, TSN guru, who's a huge Steelers fan. I'm looking at him. I'm like, this team looks like one of the best teams in the league right now.
They got good mojo in Pittsburgh right now.
Offensively, they looked awesome. Where has that been all year? And it's usually you have to grind to get there. If they can capture that magic with DK and Aaron, they can be kind of good.
Okay. Well, the other team in Pennsylvania not trending in that direction. That would be the Eagles. Not the best. Yeah. And the Eagles are in L.A. playing the Chargers tonight. Eagles laying 2.5, Ellis, brother. Now, this is a weird game, weird spread. There's some confliction. We're not going to lie. The group chat, there was some pushback. But like they say, right, good teammates pat you on the back and say, keep going. Great teammates look you in the eye and say, be better. And that's what the O-Dog's been doing since he arrived.
I've said it all year, and I've said it the last couple years. The Chargers find a way to charge at critical moments in the season. That's all I'm saying.
Go over the top against him. Take Herbert.
But Al's brother, tremendous information. Please. Supply it.
Here's the problem is the Eagles they don't look like a good football team right now. I mean, the Chargers, they could win this game outright. So you're giving me them 2.5 points and at home. I think we got to go with the Chargers. You look at the Eagles last 4 weeks, they're averaging 15.5 points offensively. They can't score in the second half of ball games. They're dealing with some big injuries in the trenches. You got both Lane Johnson and Jalen Carter out, and these guys can't stop the run. Amari and Hampton coming back tonight. I think that puts a little pep in the step of this run game that had their best game last week. And you look at the Eagles. They gave up almost 300 yards on the ground last week against the Bears.
This is tremendous information.
It is.
Valid,
it
100%.
is. I think they run all over this team. I think they could possibly win this game outright. So, I'll take the 2.5 points.
Noodles, I'll tell you this.
You had me at hello. Had me at hello.
Noodles, I was convinced they were going to take the Eagles because the Eagles cover this with ease tonight. Yeah. And if we get down 14 Noodles, we're jammed.
We're that's the number.
Jammed.
That's the number.
If we can if they can puke all over themselves, which is what Al's brother's doing right now, and we get back to 12, it's still very, very slim.
Pete Carroll.
We have
Pete Carroll.
What do I write to you, Luke? I said it's a marathon, not a sprint.
This guy's a fortune cookie. Noodles is a walking, talking fortune cookie.
We need tonight.
You know what I am? Is I've got common sense. And I bring in a level head to all of this.
I agree.
There's emotion everywhere. I see emotion and yelling and screaming and name calling.
This is your guy, Noodles.
This is my guy, and this is where my head goes. I hear that it's inspirational, Haze, and I think to myself,
inspirational quotes. This guy's walking around the halls of HomeSense, reading whatever's on the wall,
and he's getting the good vibes.
What I need is to be better. Myself.
Okay.
I will look at myself and say,
you're going to Kevin Stefanski this?
No, but the other day I felt like, didn't I pick 2 of 3? Didn't I call the Packers? Like
yes,
I said, just go with what you believe that the team is going to win, and then you look at the spread and all of that type of stuff. I missed on Kansas City because I've been tricked.
No, because Rashee Rice dropped the ball and Travis Kelce.
And Taylor Swift
and Bucker missed a kick.
Rice got hit too, man.
There were some big hits last night. All right.
Listen, if we get to 12, Noodles, I'm just going to paint this scenario out here. Doogie, get ready to put this on in about 3 weeks. We got to get to 12 tonight. It's out of our control. Okay. We then have to win Thursday. It's must win, do or die. Yeah. Then we go into that weekend at 11, and we somehow scrape out 2
Saturday games coming.
And then if we can go, if we're at 10 back for Christmas, we need a Christmas miracle. But it wouldn't be the first time a Christmas miracle happened.
Okay,
we need tonight bad. Sorry,
they're the Chiefs. They're the Chiefs. They've had a solid run the last couple of years, and now it's just all falling apart. And week after week, saying we got to get this win, we got to get this win, and continue to fumble the bag.
You're the Chiefs. Greatness.
You're right.
We are greatness, and we're not done yet, Noodles.
Well, it's the year 2025, right, Al's brother.
So you guys locking it in?
Listen, my lean was Chargers because partially I don't trust the Eagles at all. Like Jalen Hurts has been a disaster. There's weird vibes with Sirianni. They either go to a Super Bowl or they completely crater down the stretch, and it feels like deja vu right now.
O-Dog.
And the Chargers are rolling. They're coming off a bye 2 weeks ago.
O-Dog. You saved their weekend, O-Dog. You saved their weekend, and this is how they repay you.
They
Chargers.
Just ignored him.
This is how they repay you, O-Dog. Remember this.
I've got two more things to kind of put this thing over the top. I don't know.
Please do, Al's brother. You're celebrating already.
What were those balloons?
The Chargers?
What were those balloons? What just happened?
I have no idea. We're celebrating a win already. We're celebrating wins already.
My guy had balloons on his thing.
It's all good.
Chargers love being under the lights, guys. 7-2 in primetime games under Jimmy Harbaugh. And what I really like about this Chargers defense is they limit explosive plays, which Philly relies on. So you limit that explosion. The run game isn't really doing a whole lot. Landon Dickerson's injured. I already talked about the injury to Lane Johnson. I don't think this is the game Saquon pops off. So they're going to really limit that offense. I think that it's going to be tough for them to put up points there.
I'd like you to come in here, O-Dog, next meeting when Philly covers the summer tonight and say, boys, you should be making the picks. Because these two bums should have missed if it wasn't for you, and they're going to miss tonight.
Well, maybe he'll pull a Notre Dame and just say, I choose not to pick and choose not to play.
That's outrageous, by the way.
How about them like crying all the way back to South Bend and saying, we're not playing in the bowl games?
Okay, I get that.
They should have been in the playoff. I think they probably should have been.
How corrupt is this playoff? How does Miami and Notre Dame both not play, and somehow Miami jumps Notre Dame?
Yeah,
both deserve to get in. I'm not.
It's a great question.
Criminal activity.
Alabama got pumped in the championship game, and you knew they were in because they're Alabama, and the SEC's got power. It's politics, man. But Notre Dame, you would think, has a lot of backers. I don't know. I don't know if it's that they're still not in a conference.
The fact that someone created a system that has Tulane at 2 losses and JMU in Miami, Notre Dame, and even BYU. I mean, BYU's lost to Texas Tech.
Right.
Vandy's a 2-loss SEC team.
Feels like blowouts are coming.
What's tough too now is, I'll say this real quick, is it's ruined out of conference schedule. Because you look at Texas.
They're not going to play anyone tough anymore.
How awesome was Texas versus Ohio State week
Amazing,
1?
Yeah.
Everyone's
the hype was anyway.
And now you're Texas, and unfortunately my alma mater is the one catching ricochet bullets here, but everyone's using Rice.
Yeah, let's play Rice.
We play Rice and get a win, we're in the playoffs.
All day.
Yep.
Exactly what's going to happen. The out-of-conference stuff early in the year, it's going to be dead. It stinks. All right, Luke. Good luck tonight, man.
Need it.
Good luck to
Fly, Eagles, fly,
you
Noodles.
And your squad. Yep. Chargers are the pick. Al's brother, great stuff as always. Great seeing you. There he is. Al's brother. Best bet still to come. Chris Pronger, Least Lightning tonight. We'll get to that next.
Now, back to Overdrive with Haze, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
All right, best bets later in the hour. Ross Atkins speaking down at the winter meetings. A couple things to point out that I'm sure we'll get into extensively this week. One, Ross concluding, or I guess confirming, that Jose Barrios just pulled the shoot in the World Series.
Not happy.
Just left. For me, that's the end of him. You got to get rid of this guy. You cannot have a player who's so bent out of shape, making that kind of money, team first guy allegedly, because you're not playing, you didn't make the roster, you just go home.
That's the bigger issue, is that he wasn't good enough to be on the playoff roster.
Yes, his stats down the stretch were terrible. Then he was banged up. They moved him to the bullpen because he couldn't pitch. Yeah, and I get it.
Throw a strike the last his last several starts coming down the stretch. He could not throw a strike. He's just
a bad
god-awful.
look, too. It's a bad look
Horrible
because
look.
this gets out. Because now, wherever he lands, teams are looking at him. This guy quit on his team.
Yeah.
It's a bad look for his reputation as a player.
Yeah. It's a good point, Jamie. Everybody always used to say there's always somebody watching, regardless of the game. Exhibition game, middle of the season, playoff. There's always somebody watching, and something that you do could affect your interest in the future.
Yeah.
And something like that is a great example of that.
Yeah. For me, if I'm Ross Atkins, that's it. You can't pitch again for my team. Like you can't. You cannot go in that clubhouse and look at those guys and say, "Hey, how'd the World Series go?" I was watching back home because I was so pissy I had to get out of here.
I know, but dude, from all accounts, the guy's like a hard worker. He's loved by his teammates.
I
know.
But how do you recover from that?
You don't.
You bailed on your team in the World Series.
Yeah.
I think the hardest thing for him is because, like I just said, if he would have been a good teammate and cheered everybody on, and then they decide to move away from him, Ross can sell him around the league and talk to other, managers and everybody and go, this guy's an unbelievable team guy, hardworking, just not a fit for us.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can find now he's come out and said, this guy didn't want to be a part of it, went home. There will be a team that takes him, but it's when they're doing their due diligence on the player, it is going to be in their file and say
on
this
one
guy,
side, though, Jamie, I like the fact that the guy was pissed off because there's some guys where you say, "Nah, you're going to sit out for a while," and they're just like, "Nah, okay, no problem."
I get that.
I do like the fact that he was pissed off.
Listen, if he did a storm in the office, Ricky Vaughn throwing baseballs around, or told Ross where to go, I totally get that. And then he went into his teammates and said, "But I'm here for you guys." It's not about it's like. It's your teammates. They're in the World Series, and I get you're not playing, and I don't know if the rah-rah matters that much or whatever, and maybe that's being overstated from afar from the outside, but to me, the guy's been a vet on this team for a long time, and your team's in the World Series, and you just go home. Like that to me is a crazy look, and Shane Bieber, apparently, something's going on with him, and Ross is being somewhat cryptic in terms of how available he'll become the spring and ramping him up. And remember when we were doing why did he opt in? Why did he opt in? And everyone's like, oh, good vibes because he loves Toronto. Or maybe he couldn't pass a physical and he had to opt in because he wants security for this year. There's a possibility that it was something like that. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. We'll hopefully get some more clarity on that as we move forward because Bieber's a great pitcher and pitched very well for them down the stretch. But, man, the winter meeting's starting off with a bang. Ross coming out speaking, and we'll get more into it as the week goes on. Leafs Tampa tonight. Let's bring in a good friend. We haven't had him on in a while. Joining us here on the Maple Toyota Hotline, here's Hall of Famer, Cup winner, Chris Pronger. What's happening, Prongs?
Not much. How you guys doing?
We're doing pretty well. We're ready for a big one tonight. And Leafs Tampa, and we've been talking about this big tilt in the Atlantic Division, trying to get a read on things. I mean, it's been a very good division for a long time, and through 20-25 games, it just kind of feels like it's anyone's race right now. Like, is there a favorite for you in the Atlantic Division or what?
Not as of yet. Not as I look at the 8 points from the bottom to the top. As bad as Buffalo's been, they're only a few points out of a playoff spot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting. And Tampa's been obviously the pace car here for the last couple of weeks, but the Leafs, if they win in regulation tonight, they're 2 points behind them. And, the Leafs are they're in a position very similar to other teams. A lot of injuries. They've had to fight through it. They dug themselves a hole earlier in the year. But when you watch them, are you seeing them kind of turn a corner here? Do you have any optimistic views on the Leafs? Where do you stand on them?
O-Dog may want to hear this.
Okay.
I am.
Oh, boy. Here we
Yeah,
go.
oh, boy. No, I think they've played a little better as of late. I'm not sold on them just yet. I haven't seen them get to that next level. But they have had a ton of injuries, as has everybody. So their depth has been called into play more than maybe they would have liked. But I think maybe they're now starting to figure out what their identity has to be for them to be successful and play to the highest level and win hockey games. It's, with the condensed schedule and the way this season is going to play out, There's going to be a lot of sloppy hockey games, and those are the games that they're going to have to win.
Prongs, what have you seen from Auston Matthews' game this year?
He has left me wanting more. I want him to take charge. I want him to be the guy. I watched 97 in Edmonton. He wants the puck everywhere all the time. He's going to rush it up the ice. He's going to use his skill set to his best advantage. And now Auston Matthews, is a different player. He's more of a scorer than a facilitator and a driver of the play. But when you lose your line mate like Marner, who was that player, your game has to evolve. And if you want to be looked upon as one of the top players in the game, you have to add more layers to your game as well.
Prongs, let me ask you quickly to follow up on that, Noodles, before you jump in, because the power play is a disaster with the Leafs right now. It's an absolute mess.
Yeah.
How much of that is on the best player? Like, you were on the power play all the time. How much of it is we're not going anywhere unless our best player, in this case, Auston Matthews, starts doing more on the power play?
Honestly, it's a byproduct of Marner not being there, because a lot of this went through him. And now it's them trying to figure out who is that facilitator, who's the guy that's always going to find the right play. And again, you're going to hear me go back to this all the time. This condensed schedule does not give them the time frame to practice, which is where they're going to work on the power play, and they're going to work on
but
the right fit.
You're a Hall of Fame player. When you throw some real talented, smart guys out there, you should be able to figure it out to some level without being like, instead of looking at it and saying that's a complete and utter disaster. Like,
which it
I don't
is
know.
right
I
now.
played on a power play for a lot of years with Ron Francis. Very simple. Ronnie's got to get the most touches because he's going to decide where the kill shot's going to be distributed to.
Correct.
That's the whole idea.
Correct.
So they got to figure out who that guy is. If it's not Auston Matthews, and I said it on the panel the other night, let Easton Cowan have the puck along the goal line and let him make some plays. Because it's like they've got William Nylander with an incredible shot. Auston Matthews has one of the best snapshot/wrist shots that's ever played the game, and they're not utilizing their strengths. Like, William Nylander should have his stick in the rafters getting ready to tee up one-timers like Ovi, but he doesn't do it. They skate around and skate to each other, and it's nonsense. It's complete nonsense. I'm lost for words when I'm asked
simplify.
about it. I just want to put my hand up to my face when Duffy asked me about it. Simplify it.
Well,
they have to simplify, but I'm going to tell you, Mike Keenan and Noodles, you might have been there. Mike Keenan said, "I've got $35 million on the power play. We don't need to practice." And our power play was brutal for a long time until we decided to practice on our own.
Nice. Yeah. Forget Keenan.
Yeah.
Here's
the one thing I wanted to ask this, because I don't think Easton Cowan's the solution. I think William Nylander is a good passer. He just prefers to shoot. Like, I think it could run through Willie.
I know, but Jamie, he has no out. He has no out along the goal line as a right-handed shot. They're all lefties down
Put
there.
him on the half wall.
I know, but if he gets it on the half wall, if you put William Nylander on the half wall and he's running the power play, he does not have a right shot on the goal line as a threat. If you give it to a lefty down there, there's no threat to take it to the net. So that's why it's always on the other side.
Thing is, Mitch Marner played the point on the power play, but he also played the right side on the power play, which had a left shot on the goal line and could step to the net and hit Tavares in the bumper or Nyes on the back door. Like, to me, Marner was talented enough to play his off wing or his actual true wing. He doesn't need a one-timer. I feel like Nylander is probably the best passer on that group. Make him the guy. Make him the guy to think through everything and have to actually step out of his comfort zone and just standing there for a one-timer or standing there to make a little play off the wall. To me, he's the guy that I would shine a light on and say, things are going to run through you. We're paying you $11 million. You're a damn good player. Live up to it. In step out of your comfort zone. I don't know, Prongs, how would you feel? Have you ever been asked or seen players step out of their comfort zone where they've been asked of more?
Absolutely. And I'll even take it back a step further. They need to shoot the puck from the middle of the ice in the beginning of the power play. The point shot from the middle starts everything. Everything flows from that. You get a point shot, It gets the box moving. Now the seams and the lanes all open up. They can hit the bumper. They can hit out high. They've got guys for one-timers. It's going to give their top players more time and space if they shoot the puck more instead of trying to.
No.
You can't make a play when you don't move the box. You have to shoot the puck first.
November. That was my November comment on the panel. It's like shoot the puck from the top of the box and then create confusion. And then they didn't want to do any of that. Not that they should listen to me or you. Like they just they get the puck prongs and they skate. They'll get it. They'll just skate it over to a guy and then like give him a 1-foot pass and then they'll skate it back. And I'm just like, how could guys this talented be doing this nonsense out there? It's crazy stuff. Simple shot from the point just to create some chaos in front of the net. And everybody will say to me, "Oh, that's caveman talk. That's nonsense." I'm like, okay, then do it your way. Let's see what the results are.
I seem to remember Oliver Ekman-Larsson in Phoenix playing the top in the power play and scoring a lot of goals with his one-timer.
Yeah.
Get Nylander up there feeding him one-timers. Or whoever.
Options. Yeah. I also think, too, is there is, when you looked at, I'll give you an example, like Edmonton's power play wasn't, lighting the world on fire to start the season. They were missing Hyman. The guy they missed was RNH. RNH is a facilitator. Like, that's the thing. McDavid and Draisaitl, they know their routes. They know what they're going to do. Bouchard's got the bomb, and he establishes exactly what you said, Prongs. The shot is always a threat. So if you had, maybe it's Oliver Ekman-Larsson that you need the shot of the threat, or Riley that establishes the shot. But to me, there has to be a facilitator that they trust, the guy who is going to make everything fit together.
You know what else he does well, Jamie? That Nugent Hopkins, he makes excellent pressure decisions. Like if there's a mad scramble, he'll relieve the pressure and float a little sauce packs back to Bouchard, and he releases the pressure, and he does that extremely well. He's a smart guy, a heady guy, and he makes quick decisions like that on the power play, which is so key. You get some dum-dums out there, your power play's screwed.
Well, and he knows exactly his role. He is the facilitator. He knows, I got to get it back to McDavid, I got to get it to Bouchard, or I got to throw it over here in the corner to Draisaitl, who will use his big frame to buy time, and then they can reset.
Right.
Prongs, you Noodles saw Colorado play up close and personal over the weekend, and you look at McKinnon, he got a 7-point lead on anyone else in the league in points, and that team's been a rock star. Do you think McKinnon, do you see him running away with this, the Art Ross, the Hart, Colorado, or do you think now that Edmonton's coming alive, McDavid, the kids, Celebrini, Bedard, can they keep pace with him?
I think typically in the lead up to an Olympic season, we'll see a little bit of pullback. I mean, it's only natural for players to kind of let off the gas pedal a little bit in the lead up, so they don't want to get hurt. They've already committed to going, all these things. I think they are just humming right now, and they are on a tear, and they can do nothing wrong. At some point, though, I worry that it's going to look or feel like it's too easy, and they won't have faced any adversity through the season. They've had injuries, but they haven't had key guys go out for any period of time. So they haven't been taxed or called upon to have other players step up. And that's what you need in the playoffs. There will be injuries at certain points in the playoffs, and especially, and I'm going to go back to it again, because of the condensed schedule, they're going to have injuries at some point during the season, or most likely, if they don't in the season, they're going to have some of the playoffs, and then that's where they're going to get tested.
Prongs, we had a pretty good debate in the 4:00 hour about the Olympics. Have you ever wanted to fight in the Olympics? And have you ever had to pull yourself back from doing something stupid out there because you realize you're not on NHL ice, or you realize that the rules are slightly different?
There might have been a couple times where you lost it for a second, but then realize, okay, we're in the Olympics, we can't fight. And, oh, by the way, I'm going to take your number. And, oh, guess what? I play you in 9 days. I'll see you in 9 days. Don't you worry about it. I'm going to break your arm and then see if I can't break your foot at the same time.
I love that. Playing against some team like you'll never play.
Well, I'll tell you a story. 2002, there's a picture of Teemu Selanne running me from behind. My face is between the two partitions of the glass. Cut me for, I think, 10 stitches. And he jumped, hit me from behind, and I lost it. I got off the ice and bleeding all over. They had to put the stitches onto sutures. And I see we win the game 2-1, and everybody goes over here to the right to celebrate, and I beeline to the left to get in his face, and I'm like, "You are dead. I got your number." And I think we played him 11 days later, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And let's just say he needed a lot of ice packs. I wasn't too worried about winning that game, I can tell you that.
Right. And he would have been on the ice a lot, right? You can't go back home and tell your coach, just play me 8 minutes tonight.
Yeah.
Let's be selective with the ice time. Get me away from Pronger if you can. Well, it's coming quick, man. We'll get you on well before the Olympics because the teams will be named in just over a month, I think, or under a month. And before you know it, we're off to Italy. So it'll be a fun couple of months leading up to that for sure, a month and a half. Anyway, Prongs, great catching up with you as always, buddy. Thank you for doing this.
Pleasure. Keep the faith, O-Dog.
You will.
Right,
the power
Pronger,
play
see
faith.
you, buddy.
Chris Pronger joining us here on the Maple Toyota Hotline. That's a great Teemu Selanne story.
I remember the phone call. He called me right after the game, and everybody he talks is your buddy. He calls me and he goes, "Your buddy Teemu is dead." And I go, "I don't even know the guy."
How would you be buddies with Teemu Selanne?
That guy is dead, and I knew exactly what happened because he explained it. His nose got caught in between the glass.
What was Teemu thinking, man? That's just being a hero. International hockey, right? You're like, nothing's gonna happen out here. Everyone's just playing.
I think guys like Prongs and Shanahan and Scott Stevens, I think other guys would wake up and they'd be like, "It's probably an accident. Screw it." Those guys don't.
They don't think like that.
Yeah.
They don't. They let that. That's not going away.
Yeah,
it's not going away.
They take a number and they actually follow through on it.
Yeah. You know how many times you'd hear old school? Like when I played in the league, there was a lot of 35-year-old guys. They'd be like, 3 years ago, that guy slashed me behind the legs, and it's like, okay.
Pat Quinn, Stan Mikita.
Yeah.
Pat Quinn waited 15 years to get Stan Mikita. And that's exactly who you would think would be like, no, I'm getting that guy.
Yeah,
like, that guy's dead. All right, best bets coming up. Leafs Lightning tonight, Monday nighter tonight. OverDrive continues. TSN 1050 and on TSN 4.
Now, back to OverDrive with Haze, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
All right, best bets powered by FanDuel. Make your picks and assemble a same-game parlay in seconds on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Monday nighter tonight, HBO on the Chargers taking the points. Going to parlay that with Hampton 40-plus yards rushing tonight. Ladd McConkey 5-plus receptions tonight. That parlay paying plus 464. Best bets powered by FanDuel. The OverDrive same-game parlay available on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Please play responsibly. 18-plus, physically located in Ontario. So we got that game tonight. We got the Leaf game. A later start tonight, 7:30 puck drop for the Leafs. And we got other games in the NHL, NBA, winter meetings. Ross Atkins speaking today. We'll see what comes out of it by tomorrow. And
I don't like the tinkering. It's almost like I feel like they're over tinkering, man. I know you always got to try to find ways to improve, but
you're committed to that 25 roster? You want to bring everyone back, run it back?
No, I know that's not the case. You always got to look to get better, but I just think you switch it up too much, the vibes can I don't know.
All right. Well, we'll see what they have in store. They've made some moves already. There will be more to come, and we'll track it throughout the week. The winter meeting's officially underway. All right, boys. Good stuff. Thanks to everyone behind the scenes for helping out. We appreciate it, everyone, for tuning in today.
#NowWeBro. 4 p.m.
We'll chat then.